Hi everyone, it's Miss Sote. So for this calculator tutorial, we're going to finally graph more than one graph in our graphing section. So we've really only been focusing on one graph so far. Today we're going to learn how to graph more than one graph and also how to find the points where those graphs intersect, because as we move on throughout the year, that's going to be something that will start to pop up and become an important feature of our class. So as always, I'm going to turn it on. Make sure I see my blinking box right there. And as usual, we're graphing. So we're going to start at our y equals spot. And so we've always just kind of put one equation in here, clicked enter, and moved on. But you can actually put a ton of graphs on one coordinate plane. It doesn't just have to be one. So we're going to focus on just doing two, but just know you could keep putting new equations into all of these spots, and you could graph a ton of graphs on one coordinate plane. So I want to just do two types of graphs. So let's do a line. So we'll do 2x minus 4, click enter. And if you notice when you click enter, it actually automatically brings you to the next spot. So for the second spot, let's do a quadratic. So we'll do x squared, and then we'll do minus 2x minus 6. And again, click enter. If you wanted to do a third one, you could do a third one, but for this purpose, we're just going to stick with 2. And I'm just going to have my window in our normal range of -10 to 10. I've already checked this one, and so that'll just be an appropriate window. So that's not really the focus of this video. We've had specific videos about windows before. So let's graph this. So there's our line, and there's our parabola. And if you notice, there's two spots where the line and the parabola intersect. And so we're going to try and calculate exactly those two spots of intersection. And how you're going to do that is we're going to use that calculator feature again. So remember, the calculator or the calc button is in blue. So we have to click second and then trace. And that gets us to that calc feature. And we worked with values. We worked with a few of these other things. We're going to scroll down to 5, which says intersect. So scroll down to 5, click enter. And now you're just going to follow what the questions are asking. So it's asking, what's our first curve? So you just want to have this moving dot, just put it somewhere on our first curve, which is our line. So this is on our line. So I'll click enter. Then it says second curve. The blinking dot is on our parabola, which is our second curve. So we'll click enter. And then it says guess. So you're going to try and get as close to the point of intersection as you possibly can, and then it will get more specific. So I'm guessing that right now that's our point of intersection, -0.4255, -4.96. And so once you're close to the point where you see them overlapping, for the guess part, you'll click enter. And as you can see, we were actually pretty close, but our graphing calculator found the exact point of intersection at -0.449, -4.8989. So that's how we find the intersection. So you would write that down as our first point of intersection. But if you notice, we've got a second one. So to find that second one, we're going to do the same thing. We'll click second, calc, scroll down to intersect again, click enter. And now I want to move closer to this second point of intersection. So I'm going to use my right and left arrows to help me move along. Again, it asks for our first curve. We're on our line, so I'll click enter. Then it asks for our second curve. This new dot is on our second curve, so I'll click enter. And again, we just got to kind of guess where that intersection is. So I think that this dot that I've moved is close enough to the intersection of those two shapes. So I will click enter, and there you can see it actually calculated exactly where they intersect at 4.449, 4.8989. So that is how you find the intersection of two graphs. They could be any graphs, it could be two lines, it could be two parabolas, it could be any two graphs or any three graphs that you want. As long as you use that calc feature, you can find the intersection of as many things as you want. So that's our tutorial for this week. Hope that helps, and let me know if you have any questions.